Now this is a very different video from my usual videos. You know, I'm not wearing my hat when I should be. No, it's not that bad. My mom had cut my hair and she messed up my hairline. So I had a fade and then one of them was down and one of them was up or something like that. But this is very different from the usual um, podcast, which is I'm always right behind here. Um, I wanted to talk about the birth of the Superverse and how it was created. Right now on the table, I have the New Mutants comic. I want to draw in it. It's just that like I have one page done. I might get another page done this weekend. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tonight. I don't know. Um. So the Superverse. All right. So it all started when I was a huge fan of the show Ruby. You know, but back when I was in, I believe, elementary school, my voice is cracked. I think it was in like, no, I think it was in like sixth grade. My neck is still messed up, by the way. That's why I'm gonna keep on doing this, and my voice keeps on cracking. Um, so, what was I saying? Yeah, it was around like middle school, elementary. I think it was in sixth grade. Yeah, it was in sixth grade. Um, I had I got into the show Ruby during the summer, and I really liked the show. Um, I became a big fan, and as a little kid is, we're obviously gonna have animated crushes and all that. So I had a crush on Yang, Blake, and it was back and forth. And I just was like, all right, I don't want to do this no more. It's like, fuck this shit. I'm old enough not to have a crush. I mean, I always have my comic book crush, but I I haven't had a cartoon crush. Um, so the the way it started was I got back into it after I saw that there was volume 4 and volume 5, and I was like, holy shit, they actually have this out again? I watched it over. Well, I had to rewatch all the seasons. It took me like a month to finish all of it so that I could, catch myself up. Because I didn't remember jack shit about um the 3 volumes. So I had gotten into it. I had gotten back into it, and and I started getting into the Ruby community. When Amino was popping, I was in the Ruby Amino, and then I saw these things called OCs, and um, I was like maybe I should try it. I was like, let me just do it once, and I got inspired off of Godzilla, and I was basically like remaking Godzilla in the Ruby universe. It was stupid, and then I made him have a relationship with Yang and all that, and I was like, oh yeah, I made a one Wattpad story off of it. But originally, his design, he had a tail. He was more lizard like, and he was inspired off of Godzilla. Um, and then I was like, I got into Ninja Turtles again. I mean, for like the 500th time. I love me some Ninja Turtles. I always love me some Ninja Turtles. Um, but I had gotten back into it, and especially the Michael Bay one. And like people may criticize the first one. I love the first one. The second one, I didn't really like it. But anyways, um, that was the ball, by the way, the medicine ball. I don't want to be on funny compilation. um, and I wanted him to have 4 brothers, and I just didn't know what to name. First, I didn't know what to name the mutant because this was the mutant's character design. I didn't know what to name him, so I was like, okay, what the hell do I name him? I couldn't think of his name, so I named him my name, which is, if you read up on the Wattpad stories, it's Joseph Jacks. Except I don't have the last name Jacks. I just don't want to say my name on the YouTube channel. You might have seen it in some credits. You know, I just that was like that's like about it. In my other fan films or original films, you'll see Joseph Polanco. Oh, I said it right there. You might have seen Joseph Polanco on it. Um, and I named him Joseph Jacks because I didn't want people to be like, oh, he's you, and I was like, no, even though he relates to me a lot, and that's who I'm also playing in the films, the Superverse films. So then the three boys, they were originally named Donatello, Michelangelo, and Leonardo, like the Ninja Turtles. Um, I renamed them, and I didn't know what to name them, so I kept I kept Donatello's name Donatello, and then I switched them Michelangelo's name and I put it Michael. That was, even though it wasn't really a difference, but it was a difference to me. I still have his name Michael. And then my cousin gave me the idea to have, instead of Leonardo, to have Isaac. This was when he was in the film Lightning Rod. Now he has been casted out. He's been casted out. Um, you know, he was, and then I renamed him Isaac. And then I thought about it, I was like, wait, if I have four, then people are gonna be like, oh, isn't this like the Ninja Turtles? Somebody had already, messaged me on Wattpad, and they were like, oh, was this inspired by Ninja Turtles? Because it seems like it, because there are four brothers, and all of them relating to each character besides Joseph Jackson. I was like, yes, they are inspired by the Ninja Turtles. That's how those are the original designs off of the Guardians. Um, then I was like, oh, they could be, the first ones to have powers and all that, instead of having to do with dust and all that. It was, I generally, my imagination went wild. Then I was like, oh, they need a villain, the Horde. I was watching Split. I had gotten the name from there, and I was like, I was like, maybe we could use the Horde, because there are many characters that are called the Horde, so it's not really copyright. Sound like Deadpool. And so I used the Horde. I made his origin story on Wattpad. I renamed it Superverse Origins, which has to do with, the origin story series. And then I had made the mutant have an interest in Yang, and it was like a bunch of things. And I watched Volume 6. I didn't like it. Then I turned like evil in the storyline and all that. And when I was reading, I was like, yo, this is garbage. And I was like, why is this so garbage? So I had to rewrite some things, delete some things, take out some things. And then there was eventually going to be a storyline where it's the future, and the mutant and Yang, they have a kid now. And I just, this is around the time I was going to drop the show. And soon, in a few, I will talk about the very first characters. I just want to talk about this right now. Where the characters that came from. So I was watching Ruby Volume 7. I watched like 2 episodes. It was horrible, and I was like, what the hell? And then Volume 6, that kind of got me mad because it was Bumblebee shippers and all that. Even though it was stupid. It was like, still to this day, I think it's stupid. I think the show overall is stupid. I think that, Bumblebee was a stupid ship and Ruby was just taking, fan stuff and all that. And, you know, I'll get more into my Superverse controversy and also Marvel and DC. DC I don't really have a problem with. Marvel more so because Stan Lee is dead. Well, right now I have a problem with it. And you've seen that on my previous podcasts and all that. Yeah, and then I started having an issue with the show. People were saying, oh, like on the Ruby Amino, people were threatening me. People were saying, oh, they're gonna kick my ass, and I was like, it was to the point where I was like, I fucking hate this fan base, and I fucking hate this show, and I said that the episode was horrible on the Amino. I said that the first episode was horrible. I said the second episode was horrible, and I just stopped watching after that. I didn't want anything to do with it. I have a Yang collectible up there, but I'm gonna keep it up there for collectible purposes. And I was just like, this shit is fucking horrible. And people were saying, oh no, it's not fucking horrible. Oh, Penny deserved to come back. And I was like, no. I was like, she's a fucking robot. No, she doesn't. I was like, she has no reaction to her coming back. Like Ruby wants, in Volume 5, Ruby was like, oh, my friend. And then, like, fucking Volume 7, hi. Like, the fuck? I was like, the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? And, it had generally got me pissed off. I was stressed out with Ruby. I was stressed out with a lot of things. I don't want to get into it. Like, I don't want to get into the things I was personally stressed with besides Ruby, but I was stressed along with Ruby. Because in school, I had a lot of issues. I just don't want to talk about it. Maybe in a different video, I'll talk about how I was. Maybe I will. I don't know. Probably. And I had superheroes, and I had a couple. I was like, it was like maybe 10, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I deleted my Ruby and the Mutant crossover. I deleted that shit after like 30 chapters. It was like 30 chapters, and I was finishing it each day. But I was finishing the chapters, like I would do like 3 chapters in one day. That's how committed I was to it. I wouldn't even watch TV. And I felt like, damn, all that time and energy wasted. I was like, fuck this shit. And I deleted it. And I thought about it. I was like, I was watching these things, I was watching stop motions. Like I'm starting to do stop motions right now. And I was looking, I was like, they made their own universe. And I was like, even though it's not really theirs, they still made their own creative universe with Marvel characters. I was like, holy fucking shit. I was like, I want to be different. This is when I was thinking about what I was going to do after I was done filming with figures, because Godzilla versus King Kong it's not my last Godzilla versus King Kong movie, but it's the second to last. The next one is Godzilla, and that's his final movie. And then there will be no more figures. Jurassic World, that's going to be my final dinosaur toy film. Not film. Obviously, I'm going to have more dinosaur films. I fucking love them. I was thinking about what I was going to do, and it was hard. And I thought, I was like, shit. And I was making a Ninja Turtles movie. It was horrible. It was horrible. I was getting inspiration off of Ruby. And Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. I love the first one for his series, but like Other than that, I didn't like it. I didn't like the second one, and I was in a rough spot, and I thought to myself, I was like, I need something original, something that can impact people. And I had also listened to some of Stan Lee's stuff about making superheroes, and I was like, why can't I make one of my own? I was like, oh my god! I was like, I can make stuff on my own. That's when, and you may have seen in maybe like 2019 or 2018. I think it was in 2018 that this was going on. Hold on. It was in 2018 this was going on. I believe that the Mutant was getting his own film. I was filming, but there wasn't a script. There wasn't. It was horrible. It was a horrible production. It was horrible. With the new Mutant film out um at the beginning of 2020, it got better. The editing, was off. I tried to fix it. I saw that it was also off again, but I couldn't fix that part. And it was redone, and then that's when I started creating more and more and more superheroes, and I was like, I need to extend this universe. This was before the Mutant film. It was while it was in production. I was like, I have to create more and more and more and more and more and more heroes and more villains. I was like, I don't mean to kick Marvel or DC in the balls, but I need to be better than you guys. I need to be better than they are, and it was that I need to be different from Ruby. I don't. That's why you'll see in my movies I have no mention of Ruby, Marvel, DC. I might have clips of parts where I'm watching a Marvel movie or something like that. I might have that in an upcoming movie. I don't think I have it yet. I'm gonna have it in an upcoming movie soon. And and um and I needed to be better. I needed to have something that I can do that I enjoyed. I enjoy making superheroes. I enjoy making films for them. I enjoy creating a world that isn't real. I enjoy that because I am in control. Speaking of being in control, I'll I'll still stick by this. I don't want as I get older, I'm going to make these films into Hollywood. It might not start off great, just like every successful film franchise. Sometimes, it does start off great, like the MCU. It didn't really. It kind of did, but not that many people paid attention to it. DC, it kind of started off great. It was, it's kind of in the middle. But anyways, let me get on topic. I wanted. I'm going to release these movies, but I don't want anyone else to own them. And the reason being is because these are my characters. I want to do what I want with them. I don't want, like, I don't have a problem with gay people, but certain things in movies I feel like it's not right. Like that whole controversy about Captain Marvel being gay, even though she's not. I don't want that for my characters. Like Firefang, she's supposed to be in love with the mutant, and likewise. And you know, I don't want people to try to make her gay or make the boy gay. And I don't mean this in a wrong way. Trust me, I do not. I have almost my entire family is gay or bisexual. I I don't mean this in a wrong way at all. I just want control over my characters. I I don't want people rebooting it unless I want it rebooted. You know? And and I thought way back, and I was like, what the hell was my first character? And I always thought the Mutant, and I always told people it was the Mutant. And this was off of my first character, which I was going to get to earlier in the video. And I was saying to myself, I was like, why do I keep on saying the Mutant? I was like, I feel like it's not him. And I thought back, I don't know if I still have the comic, but I made a comic when I was grounded. I always draw whenever I'm grounded. I always make a comic when I was grounded, but I never completed it. And then I remembered what I'd done in New Jersey, and her name was Lava Girl. That was the first character I made up. Honey Badger. I had created a comic book between Lava Girl and Honey Badger, and this was when Honey Badger was a dude. You know, I kind of really gender bended this character, because now Honey Badger is a girl, and she was completely different from what she was before. She was really inspired by Wolverine, and then I looked up Honey Badger, and it said Marvel, so I said, oh my god, and I looked it up, and now I have to change her name, because I might even have to change her look, because there's a character that was in the X-23 issues, and her name is Gabby, and she's Honey Badger. I was so mad, bro. I made my first characters. They'll soon all be on the big screen. Big screen being maybe movie theaters. You know, they're gonna be everywhere. In a few years, they're gonna be everywhere. I'm already making comic books off of them, as you guys saw last video. The New Mutants it's gonna get a change name. It's gonna get a change name. It's gonna get a name change. I mean, because I did not realize I copyrighted. I copied Marvel. You know, and I'm trying to step away from them. I'm trying to have my own things and all that. And you know, if you want to make, well, what I advise you to do if you're trying to make your own universe. You know, I know people say when we start film directing, you want to go big, but don't do that. And it's like, you know, no, like, shoot for the stars, you know. Don't try to go small, try to go big. Like, my God, I made a whole Jurassic World movie series. I'm making a superhero movie series. I mean, it's not good, but it's not bad. And if you guys actually watch it, I'm making a Wattpad book series. I'm making comic books. I'm shooting for the stars right now. I'm entering in one of my films, Electrified Zone, the film festival. Um, you know, I hate it when people say that, especially film directors, when they say, "Oh, when you want to start off, don't start off big, start off small." No, start off big. Always start off big. Don't ever start off small. Well, it depends on your predicament, but you know, when I started filming, I actually started on Jurassic Park, and then I slowly went to Godzilla. First I went to King Kong, then I went to Godzilla, then I went to superhero movies. You know, now I'm going to comics. Now I'm going to storylines on Wattpad. I'm going to stop motion, doing all this. You know, so if you want to make your own superhero universe, go ahead. Go ahead. Do you. You know. But, you know, make good superheroes. The one thing you need, and what I criticize My Hero Academia on is having good storylines, having good motives. You know, they don't have good motives at all. Like, like the students be like, oh yeah, I want to make my parents proud. Nah, you need to have more than that. Like, for instance, the mutant, the reason he's a hero is because he wants to prove that he's not a mistake. Fire Fang, the reason she's a hero is because, she sees there's been people who've done wrong to her, and she wants to change that for other people. Lightning Rod, even though he was kind of forced into it, he grows to be a leader. Just if you want to be original, I, it's harder to do superheroes because you have to watch out with certain names, certain team names, certain things that have already happened. You want to be original, and it's very hard to do that. It's very, very hard. That's the one thing I have to say about superheroes. It's very hard to do that. Ruby's a terrible show, but if you like it, you like it, and it's crazy to say I don't like Ruby, but all these heroes came from Ruby. Well, they originally came from a comic book idea that I had while I was grounded. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless you. Be well. Soon enough, Marvel stop motion videos will be coming up. The list for films right now is Jurassic World, End of an Era, then it's Electrified Zilla. Well, Electrified Zilla is in the mix of Jurassic World. I've already sent the script to two people. I'm not going to say who they are. I've sent the script to them. It's crazy how far I've gone from just doing Jurassic Park movies to going to Jurassic World, slowly going to King Kong, then escalating to Godzilla, then making sequels, making this versus film. Then I'm going to superheroes, one of the hardest jobs a film director can do. Because, I'm about to end the video soon, but superheroes, it's really hard to get, especially from comic book lovers. It's hard to get them exactly like the comic because you don't want them exactly like the comic. You want them in your vision. Like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, even though it's the most overrated Spider-Man, it is in Sam Raimi's vision. He didn't want it to be like the comics, like a lot like the comics. He wanted it to be his own. And, the storylines on Wattpad for my superheroes, they are going to be a lot, the movies are going to be based off of those. But, it's not at the same time. If that makes sense. Look out for all those things. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you guys next time.